Oh, how I love Jesus. Oh, how I love Jesus. Oh, how I love Jesus. Because he first loved me, and he will soon come as king. So, are you ready? Because the closer we get to time, like time for action. Because, see, when the king comes, it's not going to be time to sit back anymore. We are going to war, but the angels and Jesus are going to do, the war stuff. And we're just going to be by their side. Yeah, team! But we got to be all in on this. This is not go sit in your room thing. No. This isn't about how we'll get by. We'll just trust the plan. No. We are in it. Okay? So you need to think about how you can move things along. You need to expose the falsies, which are sold out. A lot of them, it appears, once you take the beast mark, past that blasphemy line, you're done. You're just sold out. So they're all in for the cause. And so we need to be on the defensive and ready to be on the offensive. So this is getting a bit of all strategy stuff. We've got to be on the original intelligence agency. That's for the king. So just get your mind right. Make sure you're focused on what is working with the king. And all you do, filter it through the king. Try to eat no In and Out, no Chick-fil-A, no GMOs at all. Just cut it all out. I bought this at Walmart. It's coffee, but it's pretty organic because it's from Brazil. It doesn't have GMO stuff anywhere on the label. So I trust Brazil more than I trust the United States. Now, somebody bought me this, and I'm not real excited about it because it's gluten-free. And to me, gluten-free, that's a whole nother ball of wax. That's just another deception in the seas of lies. But anyway, what I want you to do, I want you to focus on doing everything for the king, because we need to be all in right now. Because the prince's side, they're all in. A lot of them. I don't know how many of them. And we need to shine the light, dispel the darkness like gurus. It's dispelling of the darkness. And when the light goes in, they can come. But if they don't see and they don't hear, they might be sold out. And if there's blasphemy there, we cannot figure that out. So that's up to the king. So we leave that up to the king. We shine the light. We make the simple invites, like saying, the greatest reset is love God right and your neighbor as yourself. And if we do it and say it the same, so like every time you see somebody, when you say hello, act like you'd really like to know if they're okay. If you really care. Like, don't be an ad. Like, hello, how are you doing? Don't even look at them. No, say, well, how you doing? How are you getting by these days? You've been, need anything? Anything like that? You just show love, see? It's just basic stuff, but we haven't done it for so long. When we get to AI'd and beastly, so we need to see, their light is fake light. It's faux. So between the Jesus Christ show, Sons of Liberty, all these things are just faux shows with fake light. And it confuses people who might be looking for the right light, or they might be already sold out to that side. Come to the dark side, Luke. Because see, this is the thing. Once you go to the dark side, once you start listening to the Prince, you can't hear the Holy Spirit anymore. That's why it says, grieve not the Holy Spirit in whom you are sealed until your day of redemption. See, we need to be redeemed. We're not redeemed yet. The day of redeemed is when he comes. See that? So if you get your sights set on the day of redemption and try not to grieve him, that's why I'm not worried about smoking cigarettes and smoking pot and drinking beer. That's not the things that's going to make him say, I don't know you. Unless you're like totally alcoholic out, or like stonered out, you have to smoke every 10 minutes. You see what I mean? There's everything in moderation. But beyond moderation, we need to be in prayer. You need to be like a few times a day. Hey, King, how are we doing? Are you coming soon? What can I do today better? What should I get done? All these kind of things, because that's where you can hear him tell you. In your heart and your ear. Kind of similar things, you know? But you got to tune in. So the more that you're praying, giving him some time, talking to him, saying, okay, how we doing? We're looking good. And when you do have a victory, like when you go to the 7-Eleven and you give them change, and you tell them that you're in the greatest reset, loving God right, your neighbor as yourself, and you just clue them in and say something like Merry Christmas, and you walk away, that word has a seed in it, see? And if they're hungry, they'll eat it, and then they'll want more from you when you come back. But you got to have love in your words, and it's got to be love from above, not the faux love like all the other ones are doing. Dennis Prager, Ben Shapiro, all these people are just posers, and they don't got no love in their heart for him because they don't know him. They're talking to him. So, who are you talking to? And what are you thinking about? Because you should be thinking about the kingdom and how we're setting it up here. And you should have some plans in your head, like what you would want to do. Are you trying to work in the food business? Because it's going to be all perfect, see? So I know, like, my grandma's coming back, and Made a Heater, I'm sure, will be there. And so there will be, like, quite the baking college or something, I'm guessing, because, wow, I'd want to be there. So you should think about all these things, like, you know, what you'd want to improve and all the skills that you've been given over the years and how you can use them for him. So if cooking's your thing, then how would you find a way to be cooking in a kingdom where we would help others to get healthier, you know, and make their body work right? So maybe you'd want to like know about more nutritional ways to eat and things like that. And if you work drywall, well, maybe there'll be drywall here. I don't know how he's going to do it. But if you fine tune your skills so that when he comes and remakes you, there's still something good in your soul that knows how to work the way that the Bible does say, work as unto the Lord. So if you are working as unto the Lord, you might as well do it extra now. And like, think about how you would do it according to his plan in his kingdom when he comes here. So to me, one of the most important things is we got to go back to the Amish way, and we just got to be more organic and just do things the organic way. And then if we eat organic food, we have organic beers and organic buds and organic tobacco, all these things, it would just be simpler. And we could cut the tax, since all the government is all messed up anyway, and they've all bankrupted us now. So the best way to start off is to ruin all the tax and stop it anyway. Because the original payroll tax, when whoever was it FDR? He said it was just for a little while till the war was over. See how that went? So whenever the taxes all kick in, they never kick out because they keep wanting more money. But now that they've bankrupted us all, because that's what Trump was actually most of a journeyman at, and he did a great job of that. But see, now that we're bankrupt and everybody's fighting about what we're going to do or we're not going to do, if we started thinking about the kingdom and how he would be all organic, and if we did all organic, especially in food, then what would the regulations be? Because if we clean our kitchen like we do at home, we wouldn't have half of these viruses and diseases that are made from GMOs and engineering weird things in foods and sicknesses and viruses that just don't work out anyway. But if we went back to the basics like Scotland's done all along, and we're all organic and just eating that way, and then when he comes, there wouldn't be that much stuff to change, like all the dirt and all the things. And if you look at the oceans and the 7 seas of lies, it's all filled with all this fake salt, GMO stuff, and glyphosate, and all this stuff that's killing the fish and making them all tweaked when they inject them and all these things. But see, we need to get back to Eden the way it was originally, where all the trees grew with good fruit and there was a good living water. And these aren't just like poem stuff. This is real things that when it was first created, it was meant to be. So that's why we need to kind of think a little more Amish about how, like, to make the day go by and, like, cut back on your beastliness. Whether it's buying into lies of your favorite pastor that you haven't proven by scripture. So make that up by spending time listening to audio Bible of Matthew straight through the whole book, at least once a day, just to get your mind set on who is the king and what he did when he came. Because it's one of the very kingly books in the Bible that's been deleted very well past few years. So if you think about these things and do them, then it will go a lot better for you. Because right now, it's a very good time to seal up those, like, doubt places in your mind, in your soul, where you're not sure if you want to go this way or that. But you want to be sure that you're on the King's page right now. Because when these people that are yeasty and blasphemy start to doubt which way to go, the more they point at others and say, no, that's not from God, that's where they can cut themselves and put themselves in demon land and never come back. Because once you start pointing your finger at others and saying that can't be from God, that's what the Pharisees did, because they didn't know and listen to God. So when Jesus came, they said, no, it can't be from God. That guy's a crazy homeless carpenter. What are you talking about? He's talking crazy stuff. And one of the things he said was, if you guys just follow the 2 greatest commandments, which are love God right and your neighbor as yourself, that would summarize all of the law and the prophets, which is basically the whole Old Testament. So even now, with the modern faux Jews, or whatever you want to call these people who want to take us all out with swords at our heads and all these things, but the thing is about them, that they don't even want to do those 2 things. They don't want to love God right. Because if they did, they'd be talking to him, and they're not, because they don't look for that king coming. And the other thing is neighbor is himself. They don't. They love themselves more than the neighbor, because they say, well, you're not my neighbor. My neighbor's got to be another one of us chosen ones, and he lives over there in New York. Don't you see? So it's just another game that the demons play to trick our minds and make us think we're going the right way. So it's really good to do some habits now that'll keep you with the king. So if you listen to Matthew through every day once, and even go to sleep on it, it's not a bad thing. And then you can listen to Revelation too when you go to sleep. It'll give you some really wild dreams, I'll tell you that. But what I'm saying is, if you get these habits in your heart, then his heart is in your heart and you're on the same page. So when he comes, you won't have to be like, Jesus, Jesus, I did this in your name, because he's already looking at you going, you're on my team. I know you, because we just talked today. And I saw you doing this and doing that my way. Then you're all good and you're on the right side. So, shaka bra, we're in. Let's do this right. But you gotta make sure you're on the right team now, because this is not the time to be messing around. As you can look out there and you remember back in the day when we picked teams, once it was done, it's done. Let's go, let's play. But they're not switching sides later. You see what I mean? And once they're sold out to the prince's side, some of them have no way to turn back. So they must go all the way. And that's like the mark of the beast. And those ones are shining light like they're one of us. And the only way that we're going to shine a light is to have that real light in us from our heart. So if we're spending time talking to him in prayer and those adoration time, just glorifying him, Lord, you are all honor, all glory to you. All of it, none to me. We start like that and we sing a bit, get our hearts right, work our way closer to him so we understand how he's coming for us. And when he comes, it's all good, it's all hugs, and he's going to say, where am I going to have you serve in my kingdom for 1,000 years? You see, that's the kind of things you can look forward to, but not how much money you have right now, see? So it's all about perspective. Just get your mind right, focus on the King, and make him happy to see you. See what I mean? By all you're doing from your heart, being all about making this the kingdom's place. Like we are in the kingdom now. So if we start improving it from loving our neighbor right to loving God right in all we do, and people see that and the fruit that comes out of that, no matter what we say or do, then that fruit grows great, like those mangoes in Hawaii, compared to the faux people that are planting bad seeds, just like GMO seeds don't grow real fruit, see? So we are the organic king's men. They are the faker posers, GMO men working for the dark side. So let us be light, but light in the right way, not accusing others, trying to find a stone to throw. No, we're about loving and giving and not holding on to any of these things that are all passing on, because these things are just a test to see how much you trust the King. And the more that you trust the things, the more that you get beastly. And then you start getting close to that line where you're sold out to the beast and blasphemy's coming to you. And that's where you're going to get that mark, whatever it is. But if it's spiritual first, it doesn't matter anyway. We want to get that stand for the King right here. You see what I mean? So go with that in your day. Give it all to the King. Because he's the one that's coming and he's making it right. And he made it perfect anyway. We, the people, screwed it up. So let's trust him to make it all right again. Get on his page and get with him. Make sure you're on the right page. And beware of the blasphemers that are just stirring it up over there. We need to separate from them, because we can already see they're not on our team and they're not going for the King. So don't get in mindless disagreements like Paul said. Maybe that's why he said it, because he's already been seeing the same thing.